But in terms of the government, do you sense right now that there's a unique threat, or what level would you say the threat?
I don't think it's unique to the Trump era, although there's one caveat to that that I'll get to in a minute. But I mean, there's a greater threat from government when our categories are fuzzy and we don't understand what the proper purpose of government is, or what the scope of our freedom is, and how to think about that. And the key concept here is individual rights. And we've practically banished the idea, or a coherent idea, of what individual rights are all about from our lexicon these days. And this has been a long time in coming. We've really diluted it or just destroyed the idea of it. So it's much more an issue of who has the privilege to do, it's not just speak, but it's do all kinds of things. And so we need to recapture the Enlightenment view, but the founders are really the ones that I think defined this, at least implemented in political terms. But because of that, the government is always sort of hovering around as a threat. And then when you get a guy like Trump in office, who seems like, he's crazy, I think. He's a nut. I think he's a nutball. And he's a really he's just a dangerous person because he recognizes no limits to the authority of government. But he hasn't done anything unique other than, he criticizes the media. I think it's dangerous for a president to be criticizing the press as an institution in the same way that I thought it was very bad for Obama to be criticizing the financial industry or Wall Street as an institution. It doesn't mean there aren't bad actors in there. But when you damn an entire institution, that's a dangerous thing, especially from a government who has the power to actually regulate them and shut them down. There are specific threats, Title IX we mentioned. Let me mention one other sort of threat that is, I think, the most terrifying thing happening in this country now is inaction by government when individuals or groups of individuals, and I think this is happening on campus primarily, when they start using force against people, and we forget that the distinction between freedom and totalitarianism, or freedom and not freedom, is the use of force. So you look at Middlebury, you look at Evergreen as the two recent examples, and in both cases you have people getting attacked by bands of students. You have students then justifying the attacks as self-defense, which is crazy. It's not self-defense, it's offense. And then you have the administration telling the police essentially to stand down, and we're not going to protect people. If people come to view free speech in those terms, or if that's what they associate with free speech, no one will support the idea of free speech. If they think that that people have a right to attack others, and that we're going to look at that as speech or protest, I would reject the concept of free speech if that were the case. But it's really scary to see, college officials telling the campus police to stand down and do nothing, local officials doing nothing about it, and essentially what you get then is replacing force with persuasion. And you get that the dominant principle becomes the way we settle disputes in the society is through force. That's anarchy. And then you've lost the ability to speak. You've lost the ability to deal with people on rational terms, and that's an important step down the road to statism.